Jade, summary. Nate, summary. Michelle, hiding behind the camera, summary. Okay, who's going to start? Rory. Number 18, am I right?
Yes. With Christ on our side, nothing can get in the way. There is no ground for the devil to stand in our lives. Satan tries to defeat us, but with our experience with Christ, it is impossible for him to do so.
Good. Jed.
So if everything was easy in life, there was no adversity, then we would not be able to form character and grow through God and the Holy Spirit in our lives.
100%. Nathan.
The thing called God is and never will be an easy process. There will always be new challenges. Thus, we must realize that it is only through leaning on God and asking for strength that He will allow us to succeed as a believer. We are made in Christ and through Him, so we must believe we can endure any obstacle on our journey to everlasting.
Michelle.
God has shown us that the enemy tries to inject thoughts into our minds to get them to give up. The reason our Lord commands are not too difficult for us is because He gives us the Spirit to work in us powerfully and helps us in all He has to ask for us. Right thinking arms of us for that.
Thank you. So, chapter 18, please make everything easy. I can't take it if things get or too hard. Just a quick one. I'm going to be off the book for a little bit. It won't be a long class. I think it's quite straightforward and direct. Is that if you're one of us with me in our addiction, rate ourselves as quite tough. Eh? A lot of us think that our strength and our power is when we're angry. I've heard it many times. I've heard people with the work I do and the ministry I'm in. I've had parents and people shout and scream, etc., etc. We all have the ability of doing that. But what I pick up with all that is a lot of time when we feel a certain way, angry, or when it gives us power. And I was very deceived as a young man. I came across a band called Metallica, and obviously I've been a very angry young man growing up, and so when I heard Metallica and the metal and stuff, it complemented my feelings. You know, that's what's the nice thing about that type of music. It makes you feel good about being angry. It makes you feel good about being bitter. It makes you feel good about all these things. Meanwhile, it's very deceptive because we start living according to the way we feel. You understand? So what happens now is we want to change our lives, and we expect everything just to go smoothly. And when it doesn't go smoothly, we want to give up. And sometimes I think we're very kleinserig, we're very soft. A lot of us here, doesn't matter how tough we think we are, doesn't matter what degrees we have, we're very soft. And I think we have to toughen up. And I think Jericho, this place, complements that, because this place is actually easy, if you look at it. But for some reason, we come here and we find it really hard. Okay? We find it really hard not moving around. We find it really hard not being able to do what we want. We find it very hard when someone's on our case about our tax money. We find it very hard when we get corrected to something. We find it very hard when we've got to change the way we speak. But if you look at it from an outside perspective, it shouldn't be that hard. No, look at it. Take yourself outside yourself and look at the things that you struggle with. And ask yourself the question, would you, if you were outside of yourself, tell you, don't worry? Or would you say, hey, toughen up? Like, toughen up. That's what I'm here to tell you today, guys. Toughen up, man. So don't be tough for the wrong reasons. We're tough when we're angry. We're tough when we're disappointed. We're tough when we're sad. That doesn't make us tough, because what happens, you're not always going to stay sad. You're not always going to stay angry. You're going to have up and down days. So if you make decisions based on, it's too hard today because I feel it's too hard. Man, doing dishes, is it hard? Anybody find dishes? It's not fun. I know that part. But think about when you first get here. Doing dishes is a slip. Okay? It's a mission. It feels like it takes forever to do it. Okay? Doing your bed every morning is a slip, especially when you fail. Doing the monitor fail, it's a slip. But as we go along and we accept these things that are part of life, the more we grow as people. And let me tell you something, many of us have given up just before great breakthroughs about to take place. And that's what happens. The enemy catches you with things when things get tough, and it causes us to give up. Michelle said earlier on about injecting thoughts. Let me tell you something now. The only power the enemy has over you is the power of suggestion. Suggest that you cannot do it. Suggest that you won't make it. Suggest that this is the wrong thing for you. Suggest. Think about every time you make a commitment to something, what happens if things get hard in any way, a suggestion takes place, and you take the suggestion and you break up. You take the suggestion and you're going to do what you used to do. You take the suggestion, you do. That's the only power he has. You're the only one that gives your enemy power. And yes, it's difficult, especially if you've been agreeing for the last 20 years or 15 years. It's very difficult to change that mindset. But that's what the Bible says. The Bible says renew your mind. You got to renew your mind. God doesn't renew your mind for you. He gives you hope instantly, especially if you grasp that He loves you. Instant, like an instant knowing, touch, and you think things are going to be okay. But then what happens was any decision you make will be challenged. It will be challenged. You coming to a center for help will be challenged. I don't care how positive you are right now. I've seen it time and time again. It's almost impossible to be positive right through the thing because you'll be challenged in some way. There's a human factor here at the center, isn't there? You know the human factor. It's something that we don't want to accept of others, but everyone must accept of us. No? If you've done something wrong, you've done something wrong. But if you are missing it, then you don't want to accept that. It's a human factor. And I've told you before, don't you think the trick is to invert or convert everything? And that's why when we say we like to judge people according to their actions and ourselves according to our intentions. Now, you heard that saying? That's what we do. We judge everybody else according to their actions and judge ourselves according to our intention. Our intention wasn't to hurt you. My intention wasn't to do this. My intention wasn't to cause all these problems. But what if you could change it around? What if you can start doing the opposite of these things and say to yourself, you know what? From now on, I'm going to judge you according to your intentions. From now on, I'm going to judge myself according to my actions. Because if you make judgment, if you pass judgment on yourself, it means you make a call. If you say, I'm sorry, but you don't change, then you're not sorry. I'm of the opinion now that it's enough telling your parents sorry, it's enough telling your loved ones sorry, show them you're sorry. Because at that moment, any given time, when you say, I'm sorry, you mean it. How do you know you mean it? Because you feel that you mean it. But as soon as that feeling changes, as soon as you start feeling better, have you noticed people, ourselves included, we start doing well, and we expect for us to go backwards because something went wrong. Sometimes we don't go backwards because something went wrong. We go backwards because we don't know how to cope with the way we feel. Because every decision we make is based on the way we feel. So if you're in the predicament right now, sitting in these chairs right now because you based your actions on the way you feel, then why would you want to continue doing that while you're here? So you've got to get to a place you say, you know what, I'm no longer going to be controlled by the way I feel. Let me give that person power. I like this. He says, if I'm able to make you angry, I have control over you. Now use it for this. If something can make you angry, that thing has control over you. But see what we do, we go, but I got a right to be angry about it. And then we get miffed and we scowl and we shout and we scream and we don't realize at that moment right now, we have no control. Even if we get into a fight and you win the fight, that person still has control over you. We need to control ourselves. And when it comes down to changing our lives and it starts getting difficult, let me tell you now, when it starts getting difficult, your breakthroughs are around the corner. And we say this to you now as well. There's been many times in your life where you've been pursuing something and it got hard at a certain time in your life. And while you were pursuing it, because it got hard, you withdrew. Not realizing that if you just stuck it out, your breakthrough is on the corner. Let me give you a simple example. I've been here for quite a while now. So you guys know that, And I noticed the first period of time that I was here, every time I went and I came back, because sometimes you don't feel like it. Come on, guys. Sometimes you want to greener pastures. And sometimes we do that. It's human nature, that, isn't it? You can have the best job in the world, but you think maybe. That's an emotional thing, you know? It's an emotional thing. My son, when we go to Joburg and we visit my parents or visit his Oma and Welkom, he cries, he wails when we got to come back. I'm thinking, I said to him one day, I said, Matthew, you're going on as if I beat you to death today. But he's so emotional, he can't control it. There's nothing wrong at home, but just that he's emotional because he said this to Oma the one, he said, I like it here because I can do what I want. Yeah? You can climb on the roof without anybody telling me what to do. You can do it. That's what Omas do. Omas and Opas do that. We feel more free around Oma and Opa. We tend to like them a lot more than our parents for some reason because it's like a second chance for them with a kid. You know what I mean? Second chance with having a little kid running around. They enjoy it very much. But be that as it may, my son needs to understand he needs to come back to where he is. This is where he goes to school. This is where we live. He needs to do it. You understand? And what happens was every time I came back from a weekend or from a time out, there'd always be some form of promotion in my life. It didn't have to be a physical promotion or financial promotion, but I would grow as a person. See, every time that you want to resist something because it's difficult or feels uncomfortable, you need to understand that's an opportunity. I was speaking to two of my counselors recently, and Gerald Egan makes a statement, a problem for us is a problem. So when we get a problem, we want to run away from the problem. But then Gerald Egan says this, a problem is an unused opportunity. That's all it is. A problem is an unused opportunity. So let me ask something. Every time you run away or walked away because there's a problem, How many opportunities have you thrown away? See, we see opportunity as it looks good, feels good, sounds right, gives me butterflies. You know? We've had butterflies many times with relationships. Eh? We meet people, fall in love. When things go wrong, we go, oh, never going to fall in love again. They got what they're never going to dance again song in the background, wailing. You know? And then you meet someone again a year later or 6 months later, then you're in love all over again. Now, let me tell you something now. If that happens so easily with something as simple as feeling the feeling of love, how often have we been deceived because of it's difficult, let me withdraw? I don't like confrontation. I don't enjoy it. Believe it or not. I don't enjoy it. I've got to put myself in that situation because with confrontation, sometimes I feel like you're not going to be in control if someone freaks out. But I've got to a place, and you can get to a place where you can confront on a level where you don't confront. Because you're not supposed to confront in anger, you know that. You're not supposed to confront because the person's something wrong. You confront because you believe it's the right thing. And if you confront or you try to take a hard thing on with the right modus operandi, it's a lot easier to do confrontation. But if you want to confront because you want to tell them how it is, okay, that's when the thing gets out of control. And look, at the end of the day, that person you're confronting or that challenge you're facing can seem like it's getting out of control. But it only gets out of control when you go, oh, it's too hard, and you react. Only time it gets out of control. So understand something. If it's difficult to be here, if it's uncomfortable to be here, in any situation where it feels difficult and uncomfortable, I'm telling you now it's the right situation you're in. Amen. The right situation. Because isn't that what drugs are about? Huh? You feel uncomfortable, so let me make myself comfortable. Huh? Boredom. How do you know you're bored? You feel bored. Doesn't time suck? Okay, I'm bored today. Many of us here started smoking marijuana and doing drugs because we were bored as a teenager, isn't it? It was fun, you know? The walk, get the package, clean it. Isn't it? It was fun. So now you think, okay, I'm going to stop doing this now. And Saturday comes and you're sitting at home and you're going to stop doing it now. And you get this, no man, this is not lekker. Huh? It's uncomfortable, isn't it? And you go, oh no, and you go and fetch again. Start Monday. Isn't it almost like deflecting procrastination? And that's what they keep getting every time, because what happens, you leave here now after your period of time here, you go back to your old environment, it stirs up the same feelings. Isn't it? So that's why many of us, when we leave a safe environment, we go back. A lot of us will go backwards, because what happens is, while you're here, you're supposed to learn how to manage your feelings and your emotions. You're supposed to say, you know what, Ralph, I don't like being here, but I know I need to do this. So what's the same thing now when you leave now? You get all these mixed emotions, and instead of doing the same thing you're doing here, you do the opposite again. You go back to, I'm bored, or this. Or let me just say hello to my old friend. Or let me just say hello to my ex-girlfriend. And when everything goes back to the way it was, you don't realize it's your own fault. Because, here's the feeling, here's the emotion. Your brain has a cycle in it that says, when this happens, this is what you do. Isn't it? So when that you're bored, your brain says, okay, I know what to do to get rid of this boredom. Let's roll a joint. Isn't it? If you're staying home on a Friday night, you're not going out, you don't want to spend your money, but your brain goes, whoa, this feeling here, how we normally deal with this feeling, we go out. So when those things happen when you leave, and even you must on purpose be mindful of it and make a different decision. And the more you make a different decision concerning it, the easier it will become. But at first, it will feel hard. Hard is when you take 100 kilogram weight, whatever weight you pick up, and you go beyond it, and that's hard. Now, that's different. You got to be light in the load. But the hard that I'm talking about here is it feels hard. I feel the fear. I fear the situation. It makes me feel really uncomfortable. It's one of the best places to be. Amen. Allow yourself to get uncomfortable. Allow it. Because it's the only way you're going to grow. If you've stunted your growth over time, then the right thing to do is say, okay, I don't like the way it feels. I don't like what's going on here, but I need this to change. I need this. I don't like the way Ralph speaks to me. I don't like my counselor. I don't like the center. I don't like whatever. I don't like my stepdad. You know what? I encourage you to be in that. Engage in that. I encourage that because it will bring growth in your lives. The very thing that you fear, that you resist, is the very thing that you've been asking for change for a while. You don't want to be this like this anymore. Any of you felt the way where you think, you know what, maybe this is the way I'm created? Isn't it? Have you ever felt that way? Maybe this is the way I'm supposed to be. Yeah, you know? I'm just supposed to be a fool or a misfit. I'm supposed to be. No. Understand, the only reason why you stay there is because you feeling that way keeps you from allowing the right relationships in your life. if you guys weren't here, 90% of you would not have someone like us in your life, a mentor or counselor or apostle. 90% of us. We're not allowed. We'll stay away from the person that confronts us. Stay away from the person that we feel might judge us because we did this and this. Meanwhile, you don't understand, there's people not just in the center, but there's people out there that are accepting of it. They accept it. They don't encourage you, say, don't worry, do it again tomorrow, I'll be here for you. No. They tell you, don't do it again tomorrow. And what happens if you keep doing it? What happens? You start drifting away from that person that corrects you. And you go to all the people that encourage you in the situation. They do it with you. Have you noticed that? When you're in full-blown addiction or full-blown dysfunctional behavior, who's your mentor? Tell me who's speaking into your life at the time. You avoid them. You stop phoning them. If they see they phone you, you don't answer the call. No, meanwhile, they love you. They care about you. You don't answer the call. In your deepest, darkest hour, your feelings lie to you so much that when you see that phone call, you say, don't answer it. You know why? Because it's going to be too difficult for you. It feels hard answering it. It feels hard knowing you might disappoint them. But you understand that all those things are necessary evil for you to grow. Amen. We avoid things. Yeah? And out there. Because it's too painful. Hey? There's a guy called Tony Robbins, and he mentions that people are motivated by two things, pain and pleasure. You heard about that? That's our motivation. If you're trying to stop smoking, the reason you can't stop smoking is because you see more pleasure in smoking and more pain in stopping. Does it make any sense? No, but I'm trying to say, this is bad for you. This is not good for you over time. Hey? But you see more pain in that. Hey? I mean, when I stopped smoking, didn't do smoking, I remember when I was a teenager, when I tried to stop then, it felt like you're dying. I can't breathe. Listen, let me a ding bat, you can't breathe when you smoke. I'm using something that a lot of you are doing, so I'm not condemning you because of it. I'm just trying to show you that that's what stops us from making the changes necessary. We saw more pleasure in staying the way we are. And it's more painful for us to change, and that's why we don't change. So logic then tells me you need to on purpose change that way of thinking. You should see more pleasure in not doing it than doing it. So what happens is when the time comes and you have that natural instinct for you to go do these things to accommodate the way you feel, you've got to on purpose say, you know what? This can be painful if I go do this, not pleasurable. I'm going to disappoint myself. Okay? I'm back at square one. You've got to on purpose think those thoughts. You've got to on purpose say these things to yourself. I remember when I stopped my nonsense in Mazda, I remember the times when after I'd worked, and I really wanted to go out. I just really wanted to go out, man. I got friends that out there. And I had to have this fight inside of me. I remember lying in my bed. I used to rent a room in a flat with one of my friends. I remember lying in a bed and actually like wrestling this thing. And I even went as far as I had tears in my eyes going, geez, I really want to go do something. I don't want to lie. I don't want to come home at night. It's Friday night. It was a wrestle for me. But see, some of us are too wussified to admit that. I remember it was a wrestle. But I learned one thing. When I made the effort to go home, it became easier and easier and easier. It became pleasurable for me to have my ducks in a row than being feeling in my car the next day. That became more pleasurable for me than the pleasure of being around people and girls and whatever else. It became more painful for me. And I've said this before, and I'll say to you now, the reason that I don't go back there to live that way anymore, because I know what I'm capable of. I know the pain that I can cause. Funny that, it's such how selfish we are. See, we'd rather not feel the pain than make the stand as a man and as a grown woman and say, you know what, it feels painful for me, but I know if I don't receive this so-called pain, I will cause pain. I will cause pain. And it's for a season. Remember, any feeling you have, anything that's going on in your life right now, anything that's hard, it's a season. Things don't always remain hard. When you first go to the gym, it's hard at first. But if you stick to it, it's not hard anymore. Now, if I go to the gym now for a period of time, I'll be very sore. When I was younger, or a couple of years ago, I could go for 3-4 hours at a time. Time just flew. It's not the training I do. I'm not a big weight guy. I do other things. Some of you guys know what I do. I can go for hours doing it. But when I first started doing it, it was hard. Allow hard in your life, guys. Hey? Ladies, allow it, man. When something makes you feel uncomfortable or they challenge you, and it makes it feel difficult, Receive it. You know, the Bible is very wise. It says, be anxious for nothing, but everything through prayer and supplication. It says, when you are under trial and under fiery trial, accept it because it will purify your faith. What we do is, no, God's not in the situation because it's difficult. No, man. He's with you in it. Though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And there's a key word here. Shadow. Ever seen a shadow of a dog bite someone? Anybody been bitten by a shadow? Anybody? But you know what the amazing thing is, if it's dark at night, or you see a shadow, that shadow is able to cause a lot more fear than the actual real thing. Because your head runs with the shadow. Have you noticed that? So if you feed this pain, you feed this hardness, it's a lot more difficult for us. The only reason we're sitting in these chairs today is because we don't allow difficult. We've been deceived. And we still get deceived now, today, and tomorrow, and the next day. Every day there's choices that come across our path. And we can be deceived because of it. And we get angry with everybody else. How can you be angry with everybody else if you're the one being deceived? Huh? So what happens if you blame everybody else or blame shifting, you can't take responsibility for yourself to make the necessary changes. Yes, the person was playing around and making a shadow of a dog and it scared you. But you chose to get scared because it said, not that person. If someone throws who's scared of spiders? Anybody? Okay, spiders, okay. So even I know guys with arachnophobia, if you even throw a plastic spider at them, they freak out. I see my wife, Matthew and Ethan like throwing things at her, and she freaks, even if it's not real. She says, get away from me. I laugh at her, I walk towards her. But that's what happens to us sometimes. No? Look here. I don't play with spiders. When I was younger, I used to play with spiders. I remember still taking the grass away and taking the spiders out, and I used to let them fight. Those same spiders we see today that says if it bites us, I used to do that. I promise you, Crash. The teacher used to come fight with me and the kids. We used to find our own spiders, black ones, green. I don't know. You're a kid, you have no fear, Eh? Now I won't do that. And I don't like killing them either. The only reason I kill a spider is because I know my daughter's in the house and she might go towards it. Only reason why I do it now. So it's a logical decision to make. I can't leave it running around. Take responsibility as a dad. But I don't go around killing them all the time. But your fear of spiders, or anybody's fear of spiders, is your responsibility. You can't blame anybody else. Man. You can't be cross with God now because the world's full of spiders. Huh? It's unreasonable, isn't it? Oh, how could you? You knew I'd be scared of spiders. No. He says, you have not a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Like I said, I don't go pulling spiders. I don't play with them anymore. I have a healthy respect for them. Huh? Healthy respect. Sometimes I get close to them, but if I let my mind run, I won't get close to them. So if you let your mind run, let your mind do what it wants. Understand, your mind, your thinking is to be in your control. I can't help myself. Yes, you can. It's an effort. And like I said to you, God renews you from the Spirit in, but it says, as clear as day, you renew your mind. You do it. No one else can do it for you. And you can't blame anybody else that your mind is not renewed. You can't blame anybody else. We've spoken about Viktor Frankl in the past. It was in Auschwitz and other camps. Many of his family members were murdered and killed. But somehow he found himself when he was in solitary that no man, doesn't matter what situation he can control you unless you let him control you. No man. No man. Doesn't mean you don't walk around going, no one can control me. Oh, don't do that. Understand, you have the ability. Whatever you decide to do today, it will be challenged. Whatever your goals are, they will be challenged. We shouldn't see that challenge as a reason for us to give up. We see those challenges as opportunities for us to get better. To get better. We see challenges as God's against us, or we see challenges as your fault. I tell you, people that are successful have had many challenges. They have decided to take those challenges on. We decide not to take those challenges on. That's the reason why. So if that's the case, then at any time you can change that, isn't it? So change it today, man. And those of you not in your head or falling asleep or whatever your vibe is, it will be challenged. So those of you agreeing with what I'm saying today, and you can sense it, and you can pick it up, and you can understand it. You walk out of here with a better understanding now, today. But that understanding will be challenged. See, you do what you do because you believe what you believe. So if you want to change your belief system, you must on purpose change your belief system. Because your brain is programmed a certain way. You are able to change the way your brain works through effort. Through effort. If you have a computer at home, do you let your computer do what it wants, or do you put on the computer what you want? You put on the computer what you want. So, yeah. Yes, a lot of junk there, so it'll be a bit of an effort to clean it. If you format your computer, it takes time, isn't it? If you remove things off your computer, it takes time, doesn't it? So how much more if our super brains, our brains, it will take time. But we get upset now because things, no man, it takes time. This is when you start a training regime and you want to take part in the marathon, the comrades next year, you know? And now you're upset that you're not ready now. Does it make any sense then? How can you be upset if you're not ready now? You haven't been training long enough, man. And maybe the first time you do it, you're not used to that long distance. So you don't run that long distance every time before the marathon. You run distances, half the distance, and then you don't tire your body out. Because my cousin runs the comrades quite often, etc., etc. So they run distances to start building themselves up ready for the comrades. Now, my cousin wouldn't run the comrades if she allowed the training, because it's difficult to interfere in her running the marathon. You know what the funny thing in the Bible says as well? It says that we're not running, our life is not a sprint. You know the Bible says that. It's not a sprint, but we live our lives as if our lives is a sprint. It says it's a long distance race. It's a race of endurance. Of endurance. And us as recovering addicts want quick fixes all the time. Isn't it? So let me tell you something. Even in recovery, being here right now, you have the habit of wanting a quick fix. Even if there's no drugs involved. Now, like Queen, I want it now. And I want it all. You can have everything you want in life. You can, but it takes an effort. And if you resist and say it's too hard, you'll never have what you want. Ever. Never. And you have no one else to blame but yourself. And let me just tell you one more thing. As long as you have breath, there's always an opportunity.
Amen.
Doesn't matter how much you've messed up, doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. If you have breath and you allow hard, you always have an opportunity. But if you have breath and you don't allow hard, man. Everybody that decides to do something to themselves that's bad, etc., etc., it's only because they prefer pleasure to hard. And like I said, it won't always stay hard. Hard is a season. Difficult is a season. A problem is a season. You have a problem presenting itself to you today. Don't walk away from the problem. Take the opportunity. When you have something hard staring you in the face today, don't walk away from the hard. Take the opportunity. Take it. Yeah. Hey? The enemy, I'm going to say a word, the enemy is not that as sharp. He's sharp in the sense of he's been around a lot longer than us. If I was 3,000 years old, all the information I have and all the experience is because I'm 3,000 years old. Not because I'm some super intelligent IQ vibe. Because I have years and years of experience. Right? That's the only reason why he catches us out. Only reason why he catches us out. But understand one thing you can't do. You can't hear spirit. You can't pierce will. God's will in your life. You can't. You're the only one that gives that away. The only one that goes, here we go, it's too hard. No, it wasn't him that beat you. You let him beat you. You're the one that let life beat you. No matter what your situation is. Don't allow it to beat you anymore, man. Okay, bow your head, close your eyes. Father God, I want to thank you, Lord, that we have the unction inside of us to realize that no matter how hard things get, you're with us and you're guiding us. And that when things get hard, it's like life giving us weights to get stronger. And I thank you that we stop refusing to lift the weights, but we start lifting the weights that life brings us. In Jesus' name.